6 o'clock Monday morning. Hello to Brian. I'm Virginia Chow. Thanks for being with us.
Yeah, thanks for being with me as I wake up with you guys this morning on a hot morning, a hot Monday. Yeah. Megan has been talking about this all morning long.
I know. I mean, look at all of that pink behind you.
It's pretty though. I mean, right? Pink's my favorite color, so I do like the color of these. But it is very dangerous, very hot, dry, and windy weather. In fact, there are 3 warnings here. There's so many you can't even see them because they're layered up. I'm going to break those down a little bit later. But a red flag warning in effect for our valleys and our mountains today. An excessive heat warning. So very hot conditions for the coast and our valleys. Those wind stream lines, you can see those red arrows all the way to our coastline, indicating those Santa Ana winds. In fact, it's been very windy right along the 8 and Alpine all morning long, gusting up to 30 miles per hour, even a few up to about 40 miles per hour. So what you're going to want today, extra water as you're heading out to work and school today. Moisturizer, you might just want to bring it with you because you're likely going to have to reapply because it is going to be so dry. And sunscreen, of course, always a good idea. Look at these temperatures though, 90s all the way to the coastline, triple digits for our valleys. I'll pinpoint where we may see record-breaking heat today when I come back in 7 minutes. Virginia?
Thank you, Megan. And of course, when it gets this hot, it affects schools. Some of them already closing today. Some of them will be half day.
10 News reporter Laura Acevedo is live at Pacific Beach Middle School. San Diego Unified still has dozens of schools that need AC. Good morning, Laura.
Good morning, guys. And yeah, nearly 100 schools within the district don't have AC or only have partial AC. One of those schools is the one right behind me, Pacific Beach Middle School. Now today the schools will be operating on a different plan. They are calling it the hot weather plan. Now that means that in addition to getting out early, things like recess and PE are restricted. In some schools, students will be moved to a cooler area of the campus for their learning activities. Now district officials are asking parents to dress their children in lightweight clothing and also make sure they have plenty of water for the day. According to the district's website, hot weather plan days are for schools that can't provide air-conditioned spaces for all children when the temperature is forecasted for 95 degrees or higher. The district has 2,000 AC units for the hottest classrooms. Now these temperatures are going to be so hot that classes in Coronado are completely canceled. Now if you want to know if your student's school is affected, you can visit our website 10news.com, and there you can find out if your child's school is on the list. Reporting live in Pacific Beach, Laura Acevedo, 10 News.
Yeah, thank you, Laura. A lot of parents watching that this morning. You can always check the real-time weather conditions on our free 10 News app and on 10news.com, where, as Laura mentioned, we'll post any updates on fires in Southern California or if schools continue with modified schedules. And if you click here on the red TV button, we've posted some links on how you can better prepare for heat and fire danger.
And I've been tracking the wind advisory right now in effect along the 8. This is still here and it's going to be here for a while. We do have the 8 east and westbound impacted along the, again, the 8 in Alpine. So any high profile vehicles, big rigs, semi-trucks, just use some caution. If you have to head through this stretch, really slow your speeds because you could definitely flip over and jackknife there. We do have some traffic along the 52 already starting to build. This is westbound leaving CNT. You can see it pretty much clears up once you get past it at 125, and then your speeds are up and moving to the 5. Brian?
Thank you, Kalina. Now to an ABC exclusive. The widow of a U.S. soldier whose death has now become a political issue is speaking on Good Morning America. This morning, she said that she's been kept in the dark about what happened to her husband.
A couple of days later is when they told me that he went from missing to killed in action. I don't know how he got killed, where he got killed, or anything. I don't know that part. They never told me, and that's what I've been trying to find out since day one, since October 4th.
Questions so many others are asking as well. Sergeant LaDavid Johnson was killed in Africa during a mission earlier this month, along with 3 other soldiers. One senior intelligence official told ABC News that the mission was considered so low risk, the soldiers did not even use armored vehicles or have a drone overhead. Congress has a lot of questions. President Trump's phone conversation with Sergeant Johnson's widow, Maisha, has also caused a lot of controversy. We're looking at her side of what was said coming up at 6:30.
New from overnight. Look what a driver did in Spring Valley. Made a real mess of things. And then things got even stranger when the neighbors went to check on the driver. Let's get to 10 News anchor Mary McKenzie live in Spring Valley. Mary, you have some new info because you just talked to another witness?
Another one of the witnesses came up to give us his side of the story, tell us what he saw. He says at first he thought two guys were running away from the scene here together, and that's when he figured out that the driver was chasing the witness, the guy who had come to ask if he was okay. So here's where we are live in Spring Valley. Grand and St. George is the intersection. You see the water is turned off now, but take a look what it was like just after 1 o'clock this morning. This Honda Accord on top of a gushing water valve that just wouldn't stop. When CHP got here, they looked through the car, they talked to those two witnesses, and then they ended up finding the driver several blocks away. He seemed to be amused through this whole endeavor. Now, eventually he was put in handcuffs. He was taken into arrest for DUI. The witness you mentioned before, how he heard the crash, he ran outside, initially thinking his own car had been hit.
As I get closer, I saw a chubby guy, and I asked him if he's okay or not, something, or they're all okay. And then he said, "Yeah, I'm okay. And what's your problem?" And then he came running after me.
So those two witnesses, each one had a different story. One said he smelled booze. The other one said he smelled marijuana. We are live in Spring Valley this morning. Mary McKenzie, 10 News.
Thank you, Mary. San Diego State Police investigating the report of a sexual assault at a fraternity party. Police say a woman called on October 8th to say her friend had been assaulted at Delta Upsilon fraternity. The SDSU student paper says they reached out to DU for comment, but that DU declined.
More homeless people who sleep in their cars at night will have a safe place to park tonight. Last week, the city of San Diego announced a partnership with Dreams for Change. We first shared with you the nonprofit's mission on 10 News back in August, and it's just more than finding a place to sleep.
It's an unfortunate event, but here we are.
We're a local nonprofit here in San Diego that works with around homelessness and homeless prevention type services. So our goal is to really build upon the asset of their car that they're staying in and to stabilize them and move them forward into housing.
So many families impacted, so the partnership will open up 60 spots in a city-owned lot in Kearny Mesa. Another 20 spaces will be added to the Dreams for Change parking program that's already in place at the Jewish Family Service of San Diego. In addition, in response to the hepatitis A outbreak, the city opened a camping area for the homeless earlier this month. We're told more camping areas should be open by Thanksgiving or early December.
New from overnight, a South Bay driver off to a rough start this morning. He slammed his now mangled Acura into the back of a parked pickup truck, doing some pretty serious damage. You can see it happened on 24th Street in National City just a few hours ago. Paramedics put the driver on a stretcher, took him to a hospital, while police and firefighters talked to the woman he was with. Police think the driver was under the influence when he crashed. They say they found drug paraphernalia in his car.
Happening today, a trial will begin for a man accused of a murder in the Bay Area that added to the immigration debate all across the country. Kate Steinle was shot and killed more than 2 years ago while walking with her dad in San Francisco. Her accused killer is an undocumented immigrant. He had been deported multiple times and had been released from jail weeks prior to the murder. But San Francisco's sanctuary city law meant that the sheriff didn't have to notify immigration officials. The judge is encouraging jurors to not focus on the politics here, but whether or not the shooting was intentional.
The NTSB is now investigating the plane crash that sparked a brush fire near Alpine Saturday. That plane crashed into a hillside east of the El Capitan Reservoir. Records show it was an acrobatic plane registered to a company in Henderson, Nevada. Preliminary reports show there were 2 people on board, but investigators have not confirmed that. Crews were able to put that brush fire out pretty quickly.
Yeah, we know with conditions like these, all these fires need is a small spark. Fire crews all over Southern California, of course, preparing for the worst as we enter our second day of a red flag warning. Just last night, a fire scorched part of the Tujunga Canyon in Los Angeles. Crews rushed to the scene and gained the upper hand in less than an hour. Great news there, because you see neighbors standing by watching, hoping that the fire wouldn't make it to their homes. One person says the fire started near a homeless camp in the canyon right behind his home.
Well, there's a series of maybe 4 or 5 small explosions and then a big one. And that's when everything lit on fire, and then that's pretty much it. There wasn't much after that, but I just ran down to make sure everybody's okay.
Yeah, good news, they were. A triple-digit heat wave with dry Santa Ana winds in Southern California is triggering high fire danger warnings all around the region.
In fact, let's talk to Megan Perry right now because she is tracking all of this for us, and you know, we hope to get through it safely.
Yeah, definitely. Glad the firefighters are all ready to go. And in San Diego, they've been really quick with all those fires. So hopefully nothing sparks today because it is going to be very hot, very dry, and very windy. In fact, hour by hour inland, we're into the 80s by 10, 90s by noon, and into the triple digits for most areas as we head into the afternoon. In fact, I've put an asterisk next to every area that I am forecasting to tie or set a new record. That goes for Oceanside, Carlsbad, and San Diego, all in the mid-90s today. Close to 100 in La Mesa and Escondido, which would set new records. Poway and El Cajon in the triple digits would be new records. And Ramona and Alpine also could set new records today. Look at all those triple digits, 90s all the way to our coastline, and windy in our valleys and mountain areas today. And we're going to be dealing with this heat for several days. The worst of it will be today and tomorrow. I'm going to track the building winds we're going to see tonight and the dropping humidity when I come back in 8 minutes.